Are Instagram unfollower apps safe? That's a question I'm going to answer in this video. If you just want a safe option to find unfollowers, you can jump to this timestamp right here. But in this video, I'm going to explain exactly how these apps work, the scam that they're running, and how they get so many people to fall for it every single month, losing money and people losing access to their Instagram account entirely. So let's jump right in. So if you watch this video, you probably have heard at least loosely that these apps are unsafe or sketchy. And that is 100% true for almost all of them, except for the option I'll talk about later in this video. But how did this whole thing get so big? Where did these apps come from? So back in the day when Instagram wasn't as big or as powerful as it is now, it wasn't as sophisticated. They just didn't have the things in place to catch people breaking their rules. So apps like this 10 or 12 years ago, they did work. And how they work is they automatically scrape data from Instagram. All that means for you is they're automatically pulling information directly from Instagram to give you this information on who is unfollowing you. The problem with that is that's against Instagram's rules. They have these rules in place to protect your privacy and protect their users. And that's why these apps just simply do not work anymore. And they haven't worked for years. But because they used to work, they got so many people using these apps, they made so much money and they didn't want to stop making money. So even though they no longer work, they fully know they don't work anymore, but they keep getting downloads because they've had so many downloads before. They buy fake reviews and they do a bunch of other things to get this scam continuing and ripping off tens of thousands of people every single month when they're losing their Instagram account and losing money along the process for buying an app that doesn't work at all. And the people who are doing this, they fully know it. And I'll give specifics on how big this scam really is and how they get you to fall for it later in the video. So that's how this unfollower app scam became a thing. It used to work. It no longer does, but they didn't want to stop making money, so they turned it into a full-fledged scam. So the next logical question is, if it is a scam, how do they keep getting away with it? They're very sneaky and honestly good at running their scam. So the first thing, like I said, is they buy a ton of fake reviews. Why this is important is because within the App Store algorithms, ratings matter more than anything. So if you have a ton of ratings, you're going to rank for most relevant keywords. Let's say an example of how to find unfollowers. They're going to rank really highly because they have so many reviews. They buy fake reviews, so that way when you find them after searching in the search term, you then click into their app and you just see the overall review number. You see that they may have a 4.4 out of 5 across 33,000 reviews. And so naturally you think, wow, this must be safe. So many people have given this a positive review. And why this works is because the App Store's layout is so flawed. Although they show you that overall review number at the top, if you scroll down, you can see the actual written reviews. And if people saw these, no one would be downloading these scam apps because they show the real picture. If you're debating using one of these apps, scroll down and read the written review. Although they'll have a 4.4 out of 5, the written reviews will be all 1 and 2 stars because people got scammed and lost their Instagram accounts. So that's one way they do it. They hide near the top and then leverage the layout of the App Store to continue to get downloads. They also pay for App Store ads. So if they don't rank there organically, what they do is they pay to rank there with an ad. And the average person doesn't really know what they're doing. So they go ahead and they download the app and then they fall into this trap. The third thing they do to get people continuously is they just make it so easy to fall into their trap. They know that you want to find this information right away. And so what they do is right when you download the app, they instantly ask for your password and to connect to your Instagram account. And you can't even access the app without doing this. So the second you do that, you're basically signing your Instagram account away, giving your personal password and your entire Instagram account to some random third party on a different side of the world that you'll never find or track down, which is obviously incredibly sketchy and not something that you should be doing, but they make it so smooth, you almost don't notice it's even happening. And to make this really clear, there's 2 ways to spot a scam right away. If it sources the information automatically, they are breaking Instagram's rules, number 1. And number 2, if it needs your password to function, it is 100% a scam. Run the opposite direction. You are giving your personal password to a third party and they can do whatever they want with it, which likely means you're going to lose your Instagram account and potentially way worse because so many people use the same password for everything. And it's important to remember what I said before. Instagram wasn't able to track this stuff before. They now 100% are. So when you connect your Instagram account to one of these apps, you get flagged very quickly. And sometimes you can just lose your entire Instagram account altogether. There's so much risk here and no reward because these apps don't even work anymore. So that's how they keep getting away with it. They have a very well executed scam, leveraging the fact that people don't spend a lot of time to do their research and the flawed nature of the App Store. So at this point, you know that these apps don't work, but why can you lose your entire Instagram account for using them? As mentioned a few times, they are breaking Instagram's rules. They know this 110%, but Instagram can't really do anything beyond what they're already doing to penalize the app creators. So what they do is they penalize the users. So when you download this app and you use it, they penalize you you to set an example, I guess, and you can lose your entire Instagram account. That's your DMs, your pictures, your memories, your followers, all from using an app that doesn't even work in the first place. They typically give one warning for most people, but I've heard people just lose their Instagram account the second they tried to use one of these. It now happens so quickly. Instagram's gotten so good at detecting these apps that are breaking their rules. So by using one of these apps that automatically sources information or needs your password, you can get your Instagram hacked, you can lose your Instagram account, your personal information can get sold anywhere, who knows? There's just so much risk here for literally no gain. The next question you probably have is, why does this guy care so much, or why does he know so much about this specific problem? Both totally fair questions. So about 4 or 5 years ago, I was creating content on my personal YouTube channel all about social media marketing. I helped people grow on Instagram, but with that, so many people cared about who was unfollowing them on Instagram. So we had so many people messaging us saying, I just fell for this scam, do you know about it? So we started researching a lot into it. And after doing that, we realized that people really wanted a safe way to find this information. So we created the first way to do this only using Instagram approved data. And millions of people saw this, and hundreds of people have copied these videos to the point where people don't even realize we invented this strategy in the first place. But the process took a lot of time. It was not user-friendly at all. And it didn't show unfollowers. It only showed non-followers. So people that you followed that don't follow you back. So not what people really wanted. So for the last 2 years, I've been developing an app that actually works. The first ever safe Instagram unfollower tracker. And it's called FollowBuddy. So what we did is we built on the process that we invented 4 or 5 years ago, and we made it way easier to use, and it also tracks unfollowers over time. And it only uses Instagram approved data that they legally have to give to you, and we do not need your password to access this information at all. You are only giving us your followers and your following information. You're not giving us any sensitive information. So if you want to find unfollowers, FollowBuddy is using the only truly safe method using Instagram approved data, and it's live right now on your computer, on iPhones and Androids. All the links are down below if you do want to try it out. We do offer a free trial for all new users if you want to go and test it out. And I mentioned earlier, I would tell you how big this scam is. It is truly massive. These scam apps that are super sketchy, they have websites that haven't been updated in years. You can't contact them. They're ripping off tens of thousands of people using the methods that I've told you about for millions of dollars. These scam apps are literally making millions of dollars. Instagram can't shut them down, and the App Store just keeps them up and running with people getting screwed every single month. And they're able to buy ads on the App Store platform. It makes no sense to me, but here we are. That's why we built this app in the first place. That's why I've spent the last 2 years, almost every dollar I have at all of this time to give people an option to get this information without getting screwed. So if you do want this information, FollowBuddy is your safe option. And if you don't want this information, I don't know why you're here, but that's totally okay as well. A question that I get all the time is, what should I do if I downloaded and used one of those sketchy apps before? If you haven't lost your Instagram account after doing so, consider yourself lucky. And here's what you want to do. Delete that app as soon as possible and go into your Instagram and change your password, and make sure to log out of anywhere else that you are logged out on that account. You can do that with an instant. Also, if you use that same password for other places across the internet, make sure to go and change that password everywhere, because some random third party overseas now has that password, and who knows what they're going to do. And the last point I want to know is, I've seen a lot of competitors pop up that are offering to give this information automatically for you by scraping public information. What you need to know about those apps too is, any app that is giving you this information automatically, they are breaking Instagram's rules. So the only reason they're still functioning right now is just simply because Instagram hasn't caught them yet. But they can, and they will. So any app that you're using across the internet that's automatically showing you who's unfollowed you is breaking Instagram's rules, and Instagram will eventually crack down on them, and you will lose that app, and you could be negatively impacted for using it. You do whatever you want, but just something to keep in mind. I've done a ton of research into this. I know what Instagram is cool with, and I know what they are not. And they are definitely not cool with you automatically scraping information from them, which all other apps have to be doing if they're giving you this information automatically. So yes, FollowBuddy does take some steps, because it literally has to in order to be safe and in order to follow Instagram's rules. Just wanted to clear that up because I've had a lot of questions about that. If you want to give FollowBuddy a go, the links are down below. And if you have any questions for me on how these apps function, let me know in the comments and I'll do my best to get back to you. We've put a ton of time and effort into building FollowBuddy, and we're super excited to give people a safe option to find unfollowers, since Instagram won't give us this information and all the other apps just simply don't work and are super unsafe and sketchy. And remember, if you need to give your password to use an app, don't. And 2, if it's automatically giving you this information, it is breaking Instagram's rules, and you can be penalized for using it, whether it's today or down the road when they get caught. Just keep that in mind. You can do whatever you want, but you have been warned. Have fun using FollowBuddy. I hope the information doesn't hurt your feelings too much, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.